Lifters have 60 seconds once the bar is loaded to get set up, get under the bar, and receive the command to begin the lift. During the squat, lifters need to start with their knees locked and listen for a squat command before beginning the squat. Any movement or wiggling around to get in position is totally acceptable until they receive that squat command. Once they receive the command, they need to descend until the top surface of their legs at the hip is lower than the top of the knees. After that, the rest is simple. Simply stand up with the weight to completion, making sure the knees are locked and you're motionless before receiving the rack command. There are a few common causes for a missed lift. One of the most common is that the lifter didn't squat deep enough. This is a red card. 4. They started or finished the squat but their knees were still bent. This is a blue card. The other blue card is for beginning the ascent and double bouncing or descending a second time before completing the lift. Everything else is a yellow card, including losing balance and taking a step, racking the bar too early before receiving the rack command or beginning the squat too early, or intentionally using their elbows to leverage off their legs. Now you know the rules of the squat. Lifters have 60 seconds when
Good squat for Jacqueline. All right. Allen coming up next. 67.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. 148.81 pounds for Allen. And the judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. Heidi Johnson coming up next, 85 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Now, one thing to note when it comes to lifting is all of our lifters need to get at least 2 white lights for it to be considered a good lift. 2 white lights, 3 white lights, you're good to go. 2 red lights or 3 red lights, your lift will not count. Heidi gets a squat command, comes down. Looks like there might have been a little bit of a dip right there on her squat. 3 red lights, it looks like that they kind of saw what I saw. There was a little bit of a dip down there in the very middle. She's asking about it, does not count as a lift. Janet Daly coming in with an 85 kilo opener, 187 pounds. Janet drops it all the way, comes right back up. However, she does not get that lift because she did not wait for the rack command. When it comes to your athletes being active, is they need to pay attention to the commands. Like we were talking about in the video earlier, they need to wait for the rack command, they need to wait for the start command. Otherwise, they will not get counted as a lift, even if they hit depth and make it look easy. Ealing coming in with 92.5 kilos. Ealing making it look easy. Two to one good lift. The bar is being loaded for Rachel Olstad, 107.5 kilos on the bar, 237.00 pounds. Rachel Olstad, 107.5 kilos. Down, little bit of a tickle right there, but let's see what the judges have to say. 3 white lights, good to go. So a lot of our lifters are actually being called on depth on both platforms because our judges are trying to keep an absolutely consistent and high standard of lifting. One of the highest that there could possibly be in powerlifting, especially for an event that is a world level event. We want to make sure that our athletes are treated like the spectacular people that they are. Melissa coming in with 115 kilos on the bar. Waits for the squat command. Down, right back up. Judges say no lift. Adriana getting underneath 125 kilograms. 275.58 pounds. When it comes to powerlifting, the important thing to remember is All of our weights are given to our ref team in kilos. That way, internationally, we all speak the same language when it refers to weight. All right, Adriana says, that is a good squat. 3 white lights. Good lift. Jennifer Rosario coming in with 140 kilograms on the bar. All right, good lift. Allen coming in with 70 kilos on the bar, being prepped and ready to go. All right, bars being prepped for Allen. So the reason why we have spotters and loaders is in case something goes wrong on the lift, they are able to keep our lifters safe and make sure that the equipment is put back in the right spot. There have been incidents in the past where spotters and loaders have saved people's health because they were there to catch the bar to make sure that they didn't get too hurt and to get them back in the rack. Allen, really good brace, goes down, pops right back up. That was sheer speed on that squat. Golly gee, 3 white lights, good lift. One thing that we've been seeing throughout the day is that lifters are coming in either knee sleeves, no knee sleeves, or knee wraps, and they all kind of have different advantages. Now, if you have no knee sleeves or knee sleeves, you're able to compete in the same division. However, if you are in knee wraps, you are either in a single ply division or you are in a classic raw division. Joy Black up next with 72.5 kilos on the bar, competing in classic raw. Now, classic raw means that your knees are wrapped in basically an elastic fabric band that helps you get a little bit of weight out of the hole. You need to assert your dominance over these so you can get your 3 white lights. You need to be very clear, very controlled with your movements, and you need to use the wraps to your advantage. Janet Daly coming up next. Janet Daly coming in next. A little bit of a grind, but wearing her SBD gear, you know she's going to hit depth. Oh, so close. She's got one more chance to hit that on 3rd attempts. Heidi Johnson coming in with 90 kilos on the bar, 198.42 pounds. All right, great looking 2nd attempt squat right there. Good lift for Heidi. One thing that judges are going to be looking for on the sides is going to be whether or not your feet move backward or forward after you've been given the start command and before you've been given the rack command, along with whether or not your hips are getting deep enough and whether or not you are completely locked out on the squat. Ealing, unracking the bar with 102.5 kilos. All right, Christian Ripley, 2-to-1 good lift. Melissa Rose coming up next with 115 kilograms. This is truly an international event. Earlier today, we had athletes from all over the world setting national world records. Absolutely insane day. Incredible to see these athletes come out and show up and put on an actual, well, for lack of a better term, show. Good walkout for Melissa. They say 2-to-1, no lift for Melissa. Rachel Olstad coming in with 117.5 keys. All right, here we go. Athlete getting underneath the bar, getting a nice pick, and that is where your squat starts, is getting the bar out of the rack effectively and getting it to your starting position without wasting too much energy. All right, bit of a grind right here. Got to be patient on that re-rack. Judges say 3 white lights, absolutely good lift. Adriana coming up next. Adriana getting underneath the bar, getting her hips set, making sure that her pick is absolutely incredible. Adriana gets 3 white lights, good lift. Jennifer Rosario up next, 152.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. All right, Jennifer getting absolutely ready to pick this bar and get ready. Jennifer down, right back up. Hip shot up just a little bit, making the second attempt a little bit harder than it probably should have been. 3 white lights. On to Joy Black, 77.5 kilos on the bar. One thing that you might be seeing today is our spotters and loaders moving the rack arms in, meaning that they'll be in a little bit more of an in position. This usually helps lifters either avoid hitting the rack on their walkouts, or those with less of a shoulder mobility. It lets them kind of get into position and get comfortable underneath the bar. All right, very careful pick from Joy. Joy, very deliberate on her way down and on her way back up. Three red lights, not quite there. Allen coming in with 80 kilos on the bar, 176.37. One thing to note when it comes to squats and missing depth is typically the heavier that the squat gets, people tend to either go one of two directions. They either sink it way too low because they just really don't have the strength, and they don't get it back up, or they cut depth just a little bit more than what they would typically do. And for people who train just below depth, that can actually create a questionable look, meaning that they might not actually get it, even though they've been practicing, because they get a little bit hesitant about getting to depth and getting back up. Great walkout for Allen. That was absolute speed from Allen. Let's see what the judges have to say. Three white lights, lift is good. We are now prepping for Janet Daly. 85 kilograms, 187.39 pounds being loaded onto the bar, getting locked, loaded, and locked in. All right, gets a squat command. Very deliberate on her way down and on her way back up. Let's see what the judges have to say. 2-1, good to go. Heidi Johnson coming up next. Heidi Johnson coming in with 100 kilos on the bar, 220.46 pounds. Heidi goes down. Right back up. Beautiful looking squat. Really wide stance. So a wide stance squat can actually help you cut depth a little bit if you're worried about going too deep, and it will actually help you maintain tension. Again, this is for some people, not for everybody. Ealing gains 107.5. Ealing 107.5 kilos on the bar. Giving the squat command, hits the hole, comes right back up. Let's see what the judges have to say. 2-1, good lift. Melissa Rose up next. Melissa's getting ready to squat 122.5 kilos. Melissa, the platform is ready for you. I know you missed this on your second. Let's get behind you. Let's get this on the third. Your strength is there. Let's just sure up the technique a hair. All right, good walkout from Melissa. Strength wasn't quite there for Melissa. That's okay. She got a squat on the board. That's all she needs for right now. Rachel Olstad coming in with 122.5 kilos on the bar, 270 pounds. Really cranking herself into that bar, making sure it's in the position that she wants. All right, Rachel, good brace. Drops down. Fight for it. Stand right back up. Ooh, beautiful squat. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. All right, Adriana is going for a state record attempt, 137.5 pounds, 303.14 pounds being loaded onto the bar for Adriana. All right, gets the squat command, goes down. Ooh, nice. Oh, not quite there. Jennifer, third attempt, 347.23 pounds. Jennifer Rosario, 157, getting ready to get underneath the bar, prepping herself. Again, everything starts with a beautiful pick. All right, Jennifer is braced, and she's going. Come on, Battle Smile. Not quite there. Good fight. Good job to our spotters and loaders making sure that she stayed safe. All right, moving on to our next flight. First attempts, Kathy Drury up first. Kathy Drury opening up with 25 kilos on the bar, 55.12 pounds. All right. 3 white lights for Kathy. Deborah coming in with 30 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Deborah opening up with 66 pounds. Good lift. Kristen coming in with 72.5 kilos on the bar, for her first attempt squat. Ooh, that is a bright singlet, Kristen. Love it. Let's see what the judges have to say for Kristen. 3 white lights is what they have to say. That was a bright lift and a bright singlet. Now, the thing is, I really love a bright, flashy singlet. One of my personal favorites is I have a floral one that just looks incredible. It's a good way to show off your personality when you lift. Elaine, 75 kilos, prepped and ready to go. All right. Good control on the way down. Comes right back up. Let's see what the judges have to say. Rebecca Jones, 90 kilos being loaded onto the bar, 198.42 pounds. All right, good looking squat from Rebecca. Looks like she almost fell backwards just a little bit. Ah, okay. She did move her foot backwards before she got the rack command. That's jumping the rack command. Can't do that. Jillian coming in next. All right, 220 for Jillian. Bar is ready. Jillian. All right, got settled in, pushes her way through that squat, is incredibly patient on that rack command, as we've seen a few people miss today. Gets it. 3 white lights. Tish coming in with 110 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Tish Going classic raw with this one, using knee wraps on her knees, no belt. Hits it, comes back up. One thing that you might not be able to hear is her coach is actually letting her know how much further down she needs to go to get depth. That was 2-1. That was a good lift. You'll see that actually a lot in geared lifting, where the lifter will be utilizing cues from somebody else to make sure that they hit depth, because sometimes it's just really hard to feel where you're at. Deanne, 112.5 kilos on the bar, 248 pounds. Deanne getting braced and ready, drops down, comes right back up. Textbook squat right there. That's what you want a first attempt to look like. Quick, easy, beautiful. You want your first attempt squats to be something that you can hit for a double or triple any day of the week, no matter how bad you feel. Second attempts is where you start to get a little bit more adventurous and do something where, it might be a little bit of a struggle. We're talking about 90 to 95% of what you can do. Typically, for most people, that's going to be 5% above what they did on their first attempt. Janet, walking out. Ooh, good, crisp walkout on that one. Very efficient, very effective. Hits the hole hard, comes right back out. You typically don't see a lot of raw athletes hitting the hole that hard, and that's just because they can't quite get as much bounce. Lift is good, 2-1. Lakita Johnson coming in with 132.5 kilos on the bar. No lifts. Katrina Johnson coming in next with 132.5 kilos on the bar. When it comes to your squat, you just have to remember that only two of the judges have to agree for you to either get a call or not get a call. You don't need all three. And typically, an amazing day is going 9 for 9 and getting 27 white lights. So that's 3 white lights per lift times 9 attempts. Good walkout from Katrina Johnson. Katrina gets right back in, waits for the rack command. Judges say, I believe lift was okay on that one. Deborah coming in next. Deborah's coming in for a second attempt at 32.5 kilos on the bar. Confident walkout for Deborah. Good brace. Hits the hole, comes right back up. So there's 2 to 1, good lift. Now there are a few things to note when it comes to picking a singlet. An all-black singlet can either help or hinder you depending on what your squat looks like. All black singlets kind of hide your hip crease a little bit, sometimes making it so the judge has a harder time seeing. So if you're questionable on depth, but you know that you're always there, black might not always be the most flattering choice. Same thing goes for with bright singlets. Sometimes it'll let the judges see exactly where hip crease is, and that either helps you or hinders you, no matter what you do. Speaking of a bright singlet that'll let you see, this one is phenomenal for that, just because you have a really good top of the thigh reference along with a hip hinge reference. Good lifts. Elaine coming in with 85 kilos on the bar. Bar is loaded. Elaine being very precise with her pick. Good walkout. Brace and squats down. Comes right back up. Good lift right there. Good looking lift. Lift is good. Rebecca Jones coming in next. Bar is being loaded for Rebecca at 100 kilos, 220.46 pounds. Three white lights, lift is good. Jillian, 110 kilos is waiting for you on your second attempt. Jillian getting underneath the bar, making sure that she is nice and settled, ready for her 110 kilos. Good fight for that one, Jillian. Three white lights, lift is good. Tish up next. Tish coming in with 117.5. Knocking on the front door saying, hey, it's time to squat. Let's have some fun. Let's go, Tish. Tish hits the hole, waits for her coach to tell her to get up and drive through those knee wraps. All right. Janet up next. Janet coming in with 122.5 kilos on this second attempt. Good walkout right there for Janet. All right, fights her way through it. Great job right there for Janet. The heavier that the squats tend to get with people and the further in attempts that you get, people tend to start cutting depth, so we might see that just a little bit as we move into third attempts. Deanne Russell, 125 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Deanne put on a clinic last time with how her squat looked. Absolutely slams down to the ground, bounces off of her calves, comes right back up. One thing to note with all of our lifters is if you fail and you're at a meet, please stick with the bar. It's safer for you. It's safer for our spotters and loaders. It's safer for everybody. So please, please, please stay with the bar so we can keep you safe. Katrina Cat Johnson, 137.5 kilos on the bar, 303.4 pounds. Great walkout from Katrina. Cat was patient, unlike my cats. Judges say just missed a little bit on that right side. Lakita Johnson, 308.65 pounds. Lakita Johnson, 308 pounds. Closing out her squat session. Lakita gets the squat command. Waits for the rack. Let's see what the judges have to say. 3 reds, not quite there. Kristen Tarin coming in with 82.5 pounds, 181.88 pounds. Kristen Tarin, 82.5 kilos on the bar. Kristen, 82.5 kilos. Again, very close stance on that pick right there, and almost a little staggered as well. Pretty upright, great brace. Phenomenal fight on that one. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. Elaine Ostrander coming in with 92.5 kilos. Elaine, 92.5 kilos on the bar, 203.93 pounds. The platform is ready and waiting for you, Elaine. All right, Elaine gets that rack command. 2-1, good lift. Rebecca up next with 112 kilos on the bar. Rebecca, 112.5 kilos has been loaded on the bar for you. Hands, the arms have been moved in. Interesting. Rebecca, I didn't notice this before, moves her hands out after she gets walked back. Very, very interesting. Not quite there. One risk when you move your arms out when you do that is you lose tension in your upper back. Jillian going for a national record attempt. This is an Australian national record for Jillian. Jillian's putting some really good vibes out there for this squat. All starts with this pick. Let's go, Jillian. Be very precise with your pick, Jillian. Looks good. Jillian gets a squat command for this national record attempt. Sinks it. Comes forward just a little bit on her chest. Judges say, good lift. That's a national record holder that we're looking at, everybody. Wish her a good, awesome job on that. Tish Horn up next, 122.5 to close out her squat session. Tish walking out bouncy, bubbly, love it. And as a classic raw competitor, she's got to know that everything starts right here for her. Tish gets a squat, listening for her coach, telling her down, 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 down. Bounces back up. You can see him on the side right there. That was some big jumps, some big happiness. Judges say 2-1, good lift. Deanne going for an American record attempt. Deanne, an American record is waiting. Deanne absolutely dropped that, came right back up. She's got something special on her squats right there. That's another national record set. We've seen an American record set, an Australian record set. We're seeing records across the board in this day and age. Janet's fighting for this squat. Really won it right there. Let's see what the judges have to say. Lift is good. That one didn't go. That one didn't go. Good lift. Melissa Rose will be starting off our bench flight. We will see you in 10 minutes.
Lifters have 60 seconds once the bar is loaded to approach the bench, set up, unrack the bar, and wait for the start command. They can take a lift off from the spotting crew, or not, and they can also use bench blocks at various heights that raise their feet if their feet can't touch the ground. Each of 3 referees can give a white or a red light, and lifters need any 2 out of 3 white lights or better for a successful lift. Lifters have to keep their shoulders and butt in continuous contact with the bench pad, and their feet need to be flat on the floor. Once they unrack the bar and are motionless with locked elbows, they'll receive the start command to begin the bench press. They'll lower the bar down to their chest. As soon as the bar is motionless on their chest, they'll receive a press command, where they can fire the bar back up toward lockout. Once their elbows are locked and they're demonstrating control of the bar, they get one last command, a rack command, and the lift is done. The bench press is highly technical, and there are more reasons for a missed lift. A red card is given if the athlete never gets the bar down to their chest. A blue card is given if there is downward movement in the hole of the bar while they're trying to press the bar, or if they have bent elbows at the start or finish of the lift. Yellow card is given for heaving or sinking the bar after the press command, accidentally starting before the start command, pressing before the press command, or racking before the rack command. Yellow cards are also given if your butt comes off the bench, your feet come off the floor, or if you use your feet to anchor against the bench or bench supports. These are the rules of the bench press.
One thing to kind of remember about bench is you really need to practice almost harder than you play here, meaning that when you unrack the bar, you need to hold it for 1 or 2 seconds longer at the very top than what you think, pause for a little bit longer than what you would think at the very bottom, and then before you rack the bar, hold it again at the very top before you put it back into the rack. The reason why you do this is because not everything is going to be perfect on comp day, and the judges may give you a command a little bit slower because you're not entirely steady. And if you jump the commands, you are not going to get the lift. So it's always important to kind of practice almost harder than what you normally would do. All right, Heidi Johnson opening with 50 kilos on the bar. Something else that you'll notice that our spotters and loaders are doing is adjusting the face savers, and this keeps our athletes safe. In case the bar slips out of their hands, it keeps their face, their chest, and their neck from being injured. Absolutely critical to make sure those are adjusted and done to the proper height for each lifter. Catherine, second attempt, 57.5 kilos. Alan is even being so direct with her hand off person that she's saying, "Hey, we're gonna go on two, and we're gonna come towards my chest. Please release it towards the middle." Gets a start command. Ooh, speed D on that bench. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. Eileen Gaines, 52.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar, 115.74 pounds. Eileen Gaines, 52.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar, 115.74 pounds. Bar is ready for Ealing. All right, great job on that bench right there. Great control all the way through. 2-1, good lift. Adriana Newkirk, 60 kilos being loaded onto the bar, 132.28 pounds. Almost looked a little bouncy there at the very bottom. Might be why that press command took slightly longer. But 3 white lights. Janet is up next with 60 kilos on the bar. Janet getting a bench attempt right here. Push through it. Oh, not quite there. Wasn't able to quite close out them triceps, get things flowing, moving and grooving. You can come back and try it again. Joy opening with 65 kilos, 143.30 pounds. Joy Black coming in for that 65 kilo bench attempt. All right, Joy gets a start command. Rachel Olstad up next. 70 kilos being loaded onto the bar. 154.32 pounds. Rachel getting herself underneath the bar, getting ready to bench 70 kilos. Rachel explodes up on that attempt right there. Looks great. Jennifer Rosario up next, 176.37. All right, that looked like a pretty solid lift. 3 white light lift is good. Melissa Rose is going to be taking 50 kilograms for a ride on this second attempt. Melissa gets a start command. Woo, speedy. That looked almost faster than her first attempt. Incredible. 3 white lights. Lift is good. Bars loaded for Heidi Johnson. Heidi Johnson, 52.5 kilos loaded onto the bar. Come on, press through those triceps. Woo-wee! Great second attempt right there for Heidi. Maybe about a 2.5 kilo jump, so taking her to 55 kilos on the next one. 2 to 1, good lift. One good habit to always practice after you see that you got a red light, especially from a head judge, is just kind of walking up and asking them, hey, where did I go wrong, if you're not entirely sure. Could be something that you can fix and make better on the next time. Could be something to work on in training. But it's always good to have feedback and information on how you're performing. Allen, 55 kilos is waiting for you on the bar. Let's get ready to go. Really fast and smooth. Doesn't quite look like a second attempt. Looks like a first, maybe even a warm-up. Bench is one of those lifts where either you have it or you don't on the third attempt. There's not a lot of people who can grind through a bench. Now, they exist. I'm not saying that they're super rare, but it's one of those things you either have it or you don't. That ability to just grind through, push through. It's not something that I was ever able to really figure out. My form would compromise way too much, and I wouldn't get the lifting competition. Now, our lifters over here just have to be ready, have to be prepared, and they need to be ready to really push their limits and be mentally prepared for a struggle. It's not as much fun to struggle on a bench, but it's absolutely possible. Ealing, 57.5. Coming off the chest, let's see what the judges have to say. Two to one, not quite good. Her rear came off of the bench. That doesn't count. If you can see some gap right there, it's no bueno. Janet, 60 kilos, being loaded, being prepped, being ready for the second attempt. Bar is loaded and waiting. Adriana coming up to 62.5 kilos. Good start command. Really fast towards the chest. Great rack command. Good lift. Moving on to Joy. Joy Black, 70 kilos. Getting prepped, ready, and loaded. Joy gets the start command, comes down. Press straight up. Absolutely great. Love it. Rachel, 75 kilos, 165 pounds. We're making sure that the bar is ready and waiting for you. Rachel, 75 kilos, is being handed off on the second attempt right now. Quick on that press and rack command. Good job. Great control from Rachel. Jennifer Rosario with 82.5 kilos. The bar is ready and loaded for Jennifer Rosario. 181.88 pounds out of apparently Minneapolis, Minnesota. Got Gino giving me helpful tips all the way from a completely different room. Gets a start command. Presses it up. Oh, good job. Melissa Rose, 52.5 kilos, being loaded onto the bar. Melissa getting a handoff right here as well. Gets start command down. And presses through. Looks absolutely great. Heidi Johnson, third attempt, 55 kilograms on the bar, 121.25. Bar is loaded for Heidi. Good handoff. Let's get the solid brace underneath this. Fighting for it. Oh, came right back down. Not quite there. Ealing missed this on her second attempt. There was a little bit of a rear foul. As long as we keep the rear on the bench, the strength is absolutely there. Ealing gets the start command. Controls it on the way down. Gets stuck right there in the middle. I think her hips also shut up as well. Not quite there. But that's not bad. 1 for 3. You're still on the board for bench. Janet going for 60 kilos. 132.28 pounds. Janet having to grind through. Ugh, looks like it's not quite there. Takes it from her. 60 kilos. Wasn't quite there today, but we'll go for it again. Alan Scritchfield. 60 kilos being loaded onto the bar. 132.28 pounds. Lift is good for Alan. Adriana going for 65 kilos. Adriana Newkirk, 65 kilos for this third attempt. Really long pause command on that one. Wasn't quite all the way down, but she ended up locking it out anyway. 3 white lights, lift is good. Joy Black, 159.83 kilos. Joy Black getting ready to bench. I do believe that Joy, I haven't mentioned it yet, is a single ply bencher right here. Need to be very controlled, need to keep your elbows tucked, not too much flaring, otherwise you lose a lot from the shirt. You got to have strong triceps to lock out in a bench shirt. Real strong triceps. Judges say 2-1, good lift. Rachel Olstad. Third attempt bench, 77.5 kilos. Rachel Olstad really grinding on that one. Like I said, some people have it, some people don't. Rachel has that dog in her. Oh, not quite there. Loved the fight, though. That was awesome to see. Love the grind. Just not quite there. Jennifer Rosario, 85 kilos, being locked and loaded for you. Make sure your feet are settled, Jennifer. Oh, started to come forward. Wasn't able to quite rack it out. Elbows flared, came above her face. Not there on that third attempt. Moving on to the second flight on platform 1. First attempt bench for Elaine. All right, we got the start command for Elaine. Explosive for that. Great opener on 40 kilos. Deborah, 40 kilos as well. Adjusting the rack height, but the bar is now ready. Lift just wasn't quite there because she beat the rack command. Jillian opening with 50 kilos on the bar. Jillian is getting ready to rock and roll under 50 kilos as an opening attempt. Jillian, 50 kilos on the bar. Good handoff, being really patient at the top. Gets a start command. A little bit of a wibble wobble there down at the very bottom. Kristen Tarin, 57.5 kilos, 126.77 pounds. Bar is loaded for Kristen. The lift is good. Kathy Drury, 60 kilos is being loaded onto the bar. Kathy getting ready for her opener. Start press. Great job for Kathy. 3 white lights, lift is good. Bar is loaded for Katrina. Katrina gets the start command. Good press command. Really quick and snappy, especially towards the top. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. Janet with 62.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Janet's opener at 62.5 comes down pretty quickly and explodes right up. Looks like a last warm up at best. At worst, it looks like her first warm up. 3 white lights lift is good. Deanne Russell, 65 kilograms being loaded onto the bar. Deanne Russell. Smoke show of an opener. 3 white lights. Lift is good. Tish Horn, 77.5 kilos. 170.86 pounds. Tish gets her start command. Consistent is what I'd call that bench right there for Tish. Lakita Johnson, 80 kilos, being loaded onto the bar. Lakita Johnson, 80 kilos on this first attempt. Hits a little bit of a stall in the middle. Let's see what the judges have to say. 3 white lights, lift is good. Could have been a bit of a technique issue. However, you typically don't want to see your first attempt, especially in bench, move that slow, because that doesn't mean that you have a lot of room to grow, and you got to be really particular about your next jumps, so you can either build the total, or you have to decide whether or not to kind of scratch the lifts and move on and get as much as you can out of your deadlift. Bench isn't as big of a deal as squat is on that, but it's always important to keep in mind. Elaine Ostrander, 45 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Platform is ready for Deborah. Deborah, 45 kilos on this second attempt. Good control on the way down. Smooth press on the way up. Rebecca Jones, 55 kilos on the bar. Rebecca, self handoff right here, gets the start command. Really quick on the way down. A little bit longer on that press command because it looks like she kind of bounced a little bit once she got towards her chest area. Everyone's waiting on bated breath. Not there. Jillian, 55 kilos, is on the bar. Start command. Fresh press. Kristen Tarin, 60 kilos on the bar on this second attempt. Brain said 600 for some odd reason, when I know that's definitely not the case. I don't know if there's a single human being that could bench press 600 kilos raw. Diane Nelson, 77.5 kilos. Good lift on that third attempt. Tracy, 92.5 kilos, being put onto the bar for Tracy. Katrina gets the start command. Presses it. And a great rack command. Again, your control is of utmost importance. Brass Kathy Drury. Start. Good press on that one. 3 white lights, lift is good. Deanne Russell, 70 kilos is being loaded for you. Deanne gets a start. I gotta say, I think Deanne might have been my favorite squatter of the day. Just really sticking in my mind with everything that she did. Bench press looks really solid as well. Great job, Deanne. 3 white lights, lift is good. Janet Ercolini, 70 kilograms being loaded onto the bar. Bench is ready for Tish. 80 kilos loaded onto the bar, 176.37 pounds. Lakita Johnson, 82.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Bar is loaded for Deborah. And the lift is, oh, not quite there. Fighting through this one. Not quite there. Kristen, 62.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Bar is loaded and ready for Kristen. Really quick on the unrack right there. Very wide power stance on that bench. It's about as wide as most people's sumos. Nope, not quite there. Started to twist and rotate. As soon as she started to lock her right elbow out, her left elbow started to come down. Now she started to rotate her right towards the rack, her left towards her feet, and just couldn't gain control back after that one. Yeah. Yeah. Kathy Drury, 67.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Solid third attempt on that one for Kathy. 3 white lights, lift is good. Katrina coming in for 67.5 kilos on the bar. Bar is loaded and ready. Lift is good. Deanne Russell gets a start command. Again, might be my favorite lifter from this session, just based off of her squats. Ooh, come on, fight for this one, Deanne. Not quite there. That's okay. American bench attempt record. Janet Ercolini. Bar is loaded for Janet. Oh, yeah. Lift is good. Tish Horn coming in with 82.5 as a bookend to her bench. Good push on that one. Great job. Let's see what the judges have to say. 2-1, good lift. New world record. Love to see it. Great job, everybody. All right, we'll see you again on this platform in 10 minutes when deadlifts begin.
The deadlift is a simple and pure feat of strength. Once the bar is loaded, lifters have 60 seconds to begin the lift. There are no start commands and you can begin whenever you like. The lifter has to stand up with the bar with their knees locked, hips at full extension, and their shoulders back. Once they do, they'll get a down command and can guide the bar back down to the floor. Easy peasy. There are two deadlift styles. In a conventional deadlift, lifters grip the bar outside of their legs, or they grip the bar in between their legs with a wider stance called a sumo deadlift. Each of 3 referees can give a red or a white light, and lifters need any 2 out of 3 white lights or better for a successful lift. There's a few reasons for a missed lift. It's a red card if they didn't stand all the way up with their shoulders back, or if they didn't lock their knees at the finish of the lift. It's a blue card if there is downward movement in the whole bar on their way up, or if they support the bar on their thighs to lever the bar up to lockout, sometimes called hitching or ramping. And it's a yellow card if they lower the bar before receiving a down command, or if they release or slam the bar to the floor, or if they lose balance and take a step by accident. Those are the rules of the deadlift.
Heidi Johnson, 3 white lights. Lift is good. Melissa Rose opening up with 120 kilos on the bar. Janet Daly, 120 kilos in the Wonder Woman socks. Good lift. Ellen Gaines, 127.5 kilos on the bar. Three white lights, good lift. So smooth. Bars loaded for Jennifer. Keiko, 496.04. It was almost there last time. Let's get behind her. Send some energy for this absolutely huge deadlift. Not quite there. It's okay. Not upset with it. But we'll be moving on to the final flight of deadlifts. Super easy on that. Joy Black, 220 kilos being loaded onto the bar for this second attempt. Great fight from Joy right there on this second attempt. 3 white lights, lift is good. Alan Scritchfield, 112.5 kilos on the bar. Really quick, Alan. 3 white lights. Heidi, 125 kilos on the bar. Heidi's deadlift is 3 white lights, 3 great lights. Melissa Rose, 3 white lights. Janet Daly, 286.60, being loaded onto the bar. Good lift. Ealing Gaines, 137.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar, 303.4 pounds. Ealing's gripping and ripping it off the floor. 137.5 has been dominated. Huge victory celebration from her right there. 3 white lights. Adriana Newkirk going for a state record attempt on this second at 363 pounds. All right, got the down command. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. New state record right there. Jennifer Rosario coming in at 167.5. Jennifer approaches the bar, going with the good old-fashioned conventional grip and rip. Love it. Absolute perfection on that second attempt. Joy Black, third attempt deadlift, 242 is what we'll be finishing out her day with. Joy Black going after her third attempt deadlift. Couldn't break the ground on that one, called it. Right call. Alan Scritchfield, third attempt deadlift, 120 kilos on the bar. A little bit of a twisty, but nothing wrong with that deadlift. Judges say 3 white lights lift is good. Melissa Rose, 130 kgs, 286.60 pounds. Melissa Rose, 130 kilograms, 286.60 pounds, sumo deadlift. I blinked, I missed it, and guess what? The judges didn't. That was 3 white lights, great lift. Heidi Johnson, 132.5 kilos on the bar, 292.11. Fighting for that one a little bit, but guess what? I think that was a solid deadlift. 3 white lights lift is good. Good lift for Janet. Crowd's absolutely getting behind Ealing. See what the judges have to say. I don't think she cares. Oh, not quite there. Checking with the judges on that one, seeing what happened. Always confirm what happened. Rachel Olstad, 155 kilos on the bar. Rachel approaches the bar, the platform. You're gonna have to fight for this one, Rachel. Not quite there. Adrian is going for the hat trick, as Gino says. 170 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Bar got a little bit ahead of her, but guess what? She fought for it back, got it. Let's see. Oh, she got it. Incredible. The bar is ready for Rosario. 391 pounds on this bar right here. Great fight for that one. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights lift is good. Woo! Smooth, Deborah. Smooth. Lovely deadlift. Lift is good. Kathy Drury up next. Kathy Drury coming in for the 110 kilo opener. Two to one, good lift right there. Rebecca Jones coming up next. All right, Rebecca Jones, let's go. Rebecca making it look easy, making it look light. Tish Horn, 115 kilos, being loaded onto the bar for her first attempt. Tish Horn. Absolutely dominated that. Jeanette Ercolini, 132.5 kilos on this first attempt. Kristen Taryn, 100 kgs on the bar, 220 pounds on the second attempt deadlift. Three white lights, good lift. Elaine Ostrander, 120 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Smooth. Waiting there for the three white lights. Didn't even need to think about it. Tish getting into position. Pulling hard for it. Two to one, good lift. Settling into the bar. Hip shot up just a little bit on this second attempt. Nothing wrong with that. Still got the deadlift up and running. Matching your deadlift to the beat of the song? Couldn't be me. Great job, Janet. 2 to 1, good lift. Lakita Johnson, 142.5 kilos, 314.16 pounds on the bar. Lift is good. Jillian DeConnick, 147.5 kilograms on the bar, 325.18 pounds. All right, Jillian from Australia, apparently, getting the second attempt deadlift in. Crowd's really getting behind her. And the judges say, lift is good. Katrina Johnson, 336.20 pounds on the bar. All right. The judges say 2-1, not quite there. Needs to come back and try it again on her third. Deanne Russell, 157.5 kilos on the bar, 347.23 pounds. And the judges say 2-1, good lift. All right, starting the final deadlift attempts for the day. Judges say 3 white lights, lift is good. Kristen Taryn, 112.5 kilos on the bar. All right, bars loaded and waiting. Not quite there. Bar is loaded and ready for Tish. Got to drive through them hips. Push those hips through. Come on, you got it, Tish. Two to one. Lift is good. Her coach is almost more excited than she is. All right, Kathy Drury, 125 kilos being loaded on the bar. All right. 2 to 1, good lift for Elaine. Rebecca Jones coming up next, 137.5 kilos being loaded onto the bar. Great fight. Ooh. Great fight, but let's see what the judges have to say on that one. Yeah, not quite there. That was just started to kick it up with her right leg, and you can't do that. Golly, why are we just letting people take their first and second attempts on their third? It seems illegal. It seems wrong, actually. All right, Jeanette. Not quite there. Jillian, world record attempt. 155 kilograms being loaded onto the bar. Bar is loaded for this world record attempt. Let's get behind her, everybody. Give her some high tier energy. Get ready to go. Oh my gosh. Making darn near easy work of that. 3 white lights, lift is good. That is a world record, and that is a world record excitement jump right there. Ah, that makes me feel great. I feel so excited with that one. Katrina Johnson, 157.5 kilograms being loaded onto the bar. It is ready. It is loaded. Let's kick it. All right, we're going to finish strong with this one. Come on. Settling in. Push those hips through. Oh, yeah. Textbook deadlift. Oh, 2-to-1. Good lift. Great lift. Oh, what is this? Another world record attempt? What is this? What is going on? Deanne Russell, 162.5 kilograms being loaded onto the bar. Again, Deanne's been one of my favorite lifters of the weekend so far. Not just this session, not just this flight, the weekend. Come on, Deanne. Give us a show. Come on. Oh, incredible. Looked pretty much like a second. I think you could have thrown another 5-10 kilos on there. Big hugs right there. All right, everybody. They're going to be tallying up the points. We'll be starting back here with awards on this live stream in just a few minutes. So please stay tuned, stay prepped, stay ready, and we're excited to have you with us.
is the Vice President of USA Powerlifting, 8-time World Champion from Dilley, Texas, Mr. Johnny Graham. Thank you, Johnny. All right, here we go. In the first category, women's equipped. Masters 2, 82.5 kilo weight class in first place, Joy Black. Women's equipped Master 200 plus kilo weight class. In first place, from California, Trish Horn. Women's equipped Masters 3, 100 kilo weight class in first place, Deborah Council. All right, women's raw, Masters 1, 82.5 kilo weight class, the bronze medal, Adriana Newkirk. Massachusetts. The silver medal, Kristen Ripley. And in first place, Janet Gilligan. Give these ladies one more round of applause. Oh yeah, give another round of applause. There they are, champions. Women's raw, Masters 1, 90 kilo weight class, the silver medal, Leanne Delcourt. Leanne. Here she comes. And in first place, Monica Beckham. Is it the ladies' room? All right, we'll follow back up with Monica. Give her a round of applause, and in the end. All right, women's raw, Masters 1, 100 kilo weight class. In first place, Katrina Johnson. Women's raw, Masters 1, 100 plus kilo weight class. Bronze medal, Brenda Coons. Silver medal, Candy Bell. And in first place, Tia Lofton. draw masters 282.5 kilo weight class. Silver medal, Heidi Johnson. And in first place, Melissa Rose. Leanne, where are you? Are you out there, Leanne? Come on back up, Leanne. Leanne? You out here, Leanne? Come on back up, Leanne. Get the silver medal box. And in first place, Monica Beckham. Women's Raw Masters 2, 90 kilo weight class is the bronze medal possession, Elaine James. Silver medal, Rachel Olstad. And in first place, Jennifer Rosario. Women's Raw Masters 2, 100 kilo weight class, silver medal, Kristen Tarrant. And in first place, Janet Molini. Women's Raw Masters 2, 100 plus kilo weight class, bronze medal, Diane Nelson. Silver medal, Jared Sturgeon. And in first place, Tracy Kogan. Women's Raw Masters 3, 100 kilo weight class, silver medal, Elaine Ostrander. And in first place, Julian McCormick. Strategy. And finishing off our competition on platform 1 with the world record pole, Deanna Russell. Stay up there. Hey, stay back up there. The two of you are winners. Women's raw masters 4, 90 kilo weight class with multiple world records. Catherine Innes, first place, Catherine Innes. Tyler, who's Tyler? Tyler and Kathy Morgensteiner. If you come over here, we're announcing pro cards, but we got something to announce just prior to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman took his Act 1 exam today. He is now the highest level international referee there is. He's going to receive his red tie from Kathy Morgensteiner. Give him a big round of applause. It's Tyler Burford, ladies and gentlemen, from Louisiana. Pat Ayers, Louisiana. All right, now we're giving out some pro cards, okay? I think certain people have earned a pro card here today. You earn a pro card, that means if you go over the beach, where you make money, because you're now a pro. You're going to have it in a moment. In the unequipped category, we have 3 raw lifters that got their pro cards. First, Kathy Neely, are you here? Also receiving her pro card. Now able to draw income from this fantastic sport we have called Powerlifting, USA Powerlifting. Janice Warner! Alright, she lifted this morning. She's not here. Alright, and another raw lifter who earns her pro card. A big round of applause for Antoinette Kemper. She is now officially in pro. She lifted this morning also. Hang on, Kathy. Then we have one quick lifter who had multiple world records today. She is now earned her pro card. A big round of applause for Andy Fee. She lifted this morning also. Alright. Give me one more round of applause for Kathy. We'll get a handshake to Dr. Larry Miller, the president of USA Powerlifting, which we're in all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. Just say a few words for everyone's attention. Dr. Larry Miller, please give him a round of applause.
Very few words, very long way. Mostly I just wanted to thank all of you for coming out here. The lifters is fabulous performance today by everyone. Those of you who stayed all day long to support them, thank you, Dave, for being from the bottom of our hearts, it's most proud of you as well. So, tomorrow will be another day of lifting. I expect another great day, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
If you'd like to take a picture with one of your lifters, come on up to one of the banners right now. All family, friends, and relatives can come on up and take a picture with your